The Tiananmen Square Incident of 1989 stands as one of the most significant moments in contemporary history, embodying the aspirations of the Chinese people towards democracy and freedom. The protests began in April 1989 when students gathered in the square, inspired by similar events occurring in other parts of the world. On April 15, 1989, students at Peking University began gathering at Tiananmen Square, where they organized demonstrations demanding political and economic reforms. Many of these students were university graduates, disillusioned with widespread corruption and unfulfilled promises for reform. They were soon joined by students from other universities, along with workers and citizens from various walks of life. The protesters had a variety of demands, calling for political freedom, freedom of the press, reforms, and combating corruption. As the days passed, the number of protesters burgeoned enormously. On May 4, 1989, a massive rally was organized in commemoration of the May 4th movement of 1919, drawing hundreds of thousands of participants. The square became a symbol of freedom and change. The Chinese government responded to the protests with escalating repression. Initially, the government ignored the demonstrators, but as pressure mounted, they began taking more severe measures. On May 20, 1989, martial law was declared in Beijing. During the night of June 3rd to 4th, 1989, Tiananmen Square witnessed one of the bloodiest moments in modern Chinese history. Armed troops were sent into Beijing to suppress the protests, using tanks and live bullets against the demonstrators. Estimates suggest that the death toll ranged from hundreds to thousands, with the true number remaining uncertain. Following the suppression, the Chinese government launched a massive crackdown on protesters and activists. Many were arrested, with some being tried on charges of instigating chaos. The government imposed strict censorship to prevent any coverage of the events. Despite the repression, the Tiananmen events had a profound effect on Chinese society. The youth became increasingly aware of political and social issues and began searching for ways to express their opinions. The incident also captured international attention, with many countries condemning the crackdown, affecting China's diplomatic relations. Today, the Tiananmen incident remains a pivotal event in modern Chinese history, commemorated annually by survivors and activists demanding justice and human rights. Despite this, the government still prohibits discussion of the topic within the country. The Tiananmen incident remains a symbol of the struggle for freedom and democracy in China, reminding us of the enduring fight for human rights. Despite the repression those events witnessed, the spirit of protest and change lives on in many hearts.